My colleague, Senator Menendez.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Mr. Kautter, do you support the proposition in the President's proposal to eliminate state and local tax deductions?
Senator, I think as part of tax reform, we should look at every individual provision in the Internal Revenue Code. And I think what we do should be viewed as a comprehensive package. So I think every provision of the code should be on the table. And components of the tax reform package are interdependent. And so
I appreciate that. I'm asking you specifically about this one. I get the broad picture that it's all interrelated. What's your views on this one?
I would say, Senator, that it should be considered. It's hard to answer that question, frankly, in isolation. I think it depends on what the comprehensive package looks like.
Well, what's the purpose of the state and local property tax deduction?
In my experience, it has been to avoid, one of the theories was it was to avoid double taxation on the amounts paid to state and local governments.
So in your views of everything should be on the table, should the foreign tax credit, which is basically a subsidy for U.S. corporations, the bigger credit they receive against U.S. taxes reduces revenue to the Treasury, actually goes, in essence, in a sense, in benefit in the countries in which they're getting their deductions from. Do you think that that one should be on the table as well?
Yes, sir.
And what's your views on it?
Again, I would say this. I would give you the same answer I gave you with respect to the state and local tax. In isolation, I can see the benefit of a foreign tax credit. I can see the detriments of it. I think the key is how it fits into a comprehensive overall tax reform package.
And let me express to you what I've expressed now to several nominees in different forms on different committees. A little difficult here to vote on someone because I understand that at the end of the day, anyone who's nominated by the administration will ultimately pursue what the administration decides is its policy. That's pretty clear. But you will have, this is a very significant position, and you will have the ability to advocate internally at Treasury and in interagency processes, and it's hard to vote for someone if you can't glean from them what it is that they'll be advocating. So that's a problem with your answer. Let me ask you a different thing. For multiple Congresses, many members of this committee on a bipartisan basis have urged the Treasury Department to withdraw IRS Notice 2007-55 in order to encourage more overseas investment into the U.S. commercial real estate market. In fact, 40 senators co-sponsored the Foreign Investment in Real Property Tax Act, or FIRPTA, reform bill that I and others introduced in 2013, which would have repealed the notice. These days, that's an almost unheard level of bipartisanship. Despite significant reforms that we passed in 2015, the notice still has a chilling effect on investments in commercial property. It stunts investments from foreign pension funds, sovereign wealth funds, regular foreign individual investors who want to invest in and develop American property through REITs. Since this was done as an executive action and not legislatively by Congress, you, if you are confirmed, are in the position to influence the potential repeal of this IRS notice. Will you actively review the feasibility of withdrawing this notice after you are confirmed?
Senator, it's not an issue I've focused on a lot in my career, but I would welcome the opportunity to take a close look at it and work with you and your staff.
Okay. Let me ask you one last question. If you're confirmed, you would be the point person in the Treasury Department for tax reform, which I share the views of many on the committee that is both long overdue and desperately needed. We haven't updated it in more than 30 years, so it's the right thing to do. But do you believe that something as important and all-encompassing as tax reform should be done in open, transparently, for the public to see? Do you believe that the Finance Committee should hold legislative hearings and mark up something as important as tax reform? Is regular order preferable than reconciliation in order to obtain long-lasting reform?
Senator, believe that Congress does its best work when it works in a collaborative, collegial, across-the-aisle manner. When I worked here years ago, that was how we worked. The senator I worked for, Senator Danforth, required every tax bill that I worked on to have a Democratic senator. I thought it made the legislation stronger and better, and my personal fiber and commitment to you is that if confirmed, I will do everything I can to always have an open door and to work across the aisle and to give access to both sides.
All right. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you, Senator Menendez. A couple of additional areas, Mr. Kautter, just